Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. Welcome to the first video of 2026. Not in the year that I'm filming because this is still 2025 and this is going up on Christmas Day for you all. So if you are watching this on that day, I hope you're having a great festive season if that's something you celebrate. But this is the first look into 2026 for the first monthly theme in my reading journal, and I'm so glad that you're here to see this today. This is a long time coming. This was actually supposed to be my 2025 theme, not particularly this one that we're looking at right now, but the overall guidance for the year. As you know, for the last 2 years, I've done a really big fantasy heavy type of decoration. So in 2024, I took you to 12 different fantasy destinations. In 2025, we did 12 different things we found in those destinations. So it was kind of like a reference type thing. And for 2026, we're focusing on romance books. So the idea behind the whole year is not necessarily they're going to interconnect each other. They're going to be very different from each other. As you can see, this is already extremely different from what you've seen from me for the last 2 years. But my idea was to take books that I've enjoyed in this genre and take like core things from them. For example, not the book that we're looking at right now, but you can expect it to be coming. The 7-Year Slip has a huge focus on lemons. He calls her lemon. So yeah, I'm not going to give anything away in case you haven't read that book, but obviously there'll be a lemon theme coming at some point. Maybe next month, maybe not. Yeah, I'm not sure when, but that's just an example. So for January, we have a farmer's market, or that's what I was aiming for. We have wine and we have lavender. And if you can't read the quote down the bottom there and you haven't recognized it, the book of January that this has all come from is Funny Story by Emily Henry. So I wanted to start out with this farmer's market type deal. In the book, there is a lavender farm that they go to, and there's a pivotal moment there. The main protagonist works in a winery, so that's why there's grapes and wine and stuff. And then I didn't pay homage to the female main protagonist because she works in a library. I felt like that would be sort of not flowing well with everything we've got going on here. So we've got food, we've got flowers, and we've got wine. And this was so left field for me, and it took me a lot longer to set up this theme than any of my fantasy ones because I just felt like I was out of my depth. But this is a good thing because I want to challenge myself a little bit more. I want to try and do more with my journaling, learn how to layer a bit better, and this style is definitely not my normal, but I'm really, really happy with how January came together in the end. It doesn't feel like a reading journal, but at the same time, I am really happy with how this all looks. But like I said, it took a long time. And also, I make a mistake on this side. So you can already tell that going into 2026, my layouts are looking very different. I have changed how my cover pages. Normally I do a 2-page cover spread. This year I want to sort of trial something that I've seen a few creators do, but notably Amy's reading journal over on Instagram. I will credit her in the description below, and while we're looking in the description you can find a whole bunch of links. Hopefully I've gone ahead and linked as much as I can this time around, or at least listed as much as I can for supplies. So if you're interested, do check that out. But overall, I wanted to try a books read type of deal on the cover page. I feel like my cover pages, whilst they've worked for me over the last 2 years, they do feel very bland and very white. And by white, I mean there's a lot of white space. And whilst that can look classic in some ways, I am all about layering at the moment. I want to improve on it, like I mentioned. And so here is my attempt. And yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge for me right now, but I'm hoping by the end of 2026, I'm like the layering queen, or at least have a better skill and instinct about it. So on the left hand side we have our cover page, and this will be stock standard for the entire year. I will be doing a themed cover page on the left hand side of the page, and then on the right hand side we will have a space for, I think 12 books are on here currently. Now there was an issue, and you will see that I am about to make this box way too small, and I do not notice it, so there will be changes to this page, but I wanted to try and have a space for all the books that I read, and since my goal is 125 books, I figured 12 would be more than enough space. I've also made it intentionally so I can put extra boxes on if I need to, but for now we're just leaving it at 12. And I think it's a good use of space. So we'll see how this works out, if it will give any interest to my cover pages and please me in a way that I haven't been getting fulfilled. As you can see, I'm frustrated at this point. It's my first page in my monthly setup and I made this complete mistake, but my friend came in and saved me. She had this roll of opaque grid washi tape, and I honestly want to just take it from her and keep it forever. I need to get some for myself actually, but I went ahead and it was very finicky, put all these boxes on. That one didn't fit, so we had to go put a new one on, and here we go, it's all done. So I'm just going to stick the covers on top of those boxes at the end of the month, or maybe I'll do it. No, I think it'll be at the end of the month because I will need to print them out on sticker paper. So I will do that at the end of the month. And then this page will all look cute. I did mess up when doing this header as well. I counted the amount of space-filled letters, as you just saw me write it down, though you couldn't read it. And I forgot to account for the space that would be between the two words. So it's a little bit cattywampus, as Jashi Coram would say. I've been watching a lot of her videos, so that was the first word that came to mind. But it works. So I just wanted to fill the space in along the side here. And here is what it looks like at the end. I have tried my best to take videos of the end of each page for you, and I also did that for social media, so might as well use the content that I've made. We're now flipping over into the monthly view page, and I want to make a quick note about the headers. So not a lot of work went into the header for January on screen. However, I forgot to push record when I was doing the headers off camera, so I do apologize that you don't have that footage. I did print them out on some craft paper, printable craft paper, and I did it with a really light brown color because I knew what color I wanted to use. And then I used a watercolor palette that has metallic colors in it and kind of color matched it. And in person, I can see the shimmer. It's really pretty. But for you guys, it's not as noticeable. You can kind of see it there, the little bit of the shimmer on the headers. And so I painstakingly went over every single header with this watercolor paint and forgot to film it. So I do apologize that you didn't get to see that. Maybe next time when I do a header like that again, because it's very easy to do, just take some time, I will make sure that I've got that footage for you. So the monthly view, if you're new here, on the left-hand side is a calendar format, and I just jot down when I've read a book. It is color-coded, and then that space on the middle portion of the page on the right-hand side is where I write down the books that I've read and just put the color key. And then on the left-hand part of that side of that page, that's not making much sense, on the right-hand side of the page, but on the left-hand side, on the furthest side of the right-hand page is where I put my arcs list, and I like to have it next to the calendar. Do I match them up completely knowing what the dates are? No, but it makes the most sense to me. I've tried other layouts in the past, and when I don't have my arcs next to this calendar, it doesn't work out as well for me in my head, so I gravitate back to this layout. And this is the layout that I settled upon, I think, in September or October, and I have, in 2025, and I have loved it, so it is what you'll see for the majority of the year. I wanted to change things up, so that the year felt fresh in my journal, that I wasn't just doing the same thing over and over. So you will see changes if you've been watching my videos over the past year. However, there's some parts that are very me and will stick around forever. So there's a bit of change, but not too much to make it uncomfortable or not usable for me. I have found things that work, and I'm going to honor those and continue to use them as well. So this page is almost done. Now we'll talk a little bit about the decoration. As you can see, I've been using this paper pad set that I got, I think, from Temu. I hate mentioning sometimes when I use that place, but yeah, that's where I got it from. And the stickers that I'm putting down is a set that I purchased from Creative Fabrica. They're a watercolour farmers market type deal, and then the ones with the grapes or the wine, I made on Canva, and I put all of those imagery into Canva, made stickers, printed them out, and fussy cut around the edges of them. So the stickers are all handmade, aside from the fact that I didn't draw them myself. And then the paper I got unknowingly from Temu. Sometimes I really can't avoid shopping there just because the deals aren't, like, it's hard to get stuff here in New Zealand. There's just not as much options when I can't readily use Amazon. I feel like I'm given an excuse, perhaps I am, but I do try my best to look for artwork that is not AI. Try to do my research into the companies that are selling them, but sometimes it's unavoidable. So that is where I got it from. I just wanted to be transparent. So this page is almost done. We're just going to put on the numbers on the calendar here, and I got some new white jelly roll pens from the local craft store. Didn't even know that they sold jelly rolls there, and when I saw them I snapped them up. Were they probably a little bit more pricier than normal? Yeah, but I needed them. So it had a really thin 0.5 tip, and I've never had one of those before, so you best bet that I used it on that calendar. So flipping over now into what is going to be very different for me. I'm not sure if I'll be using a Dutch door every single month, but this is what we came up with. And please ignore the fact that my blade is extremely dull on that page trimmer. I am in the market for a new one. I looked at a Fiskars one the other day and I just couldn't justify spending $50 on it. So I'm going to be looking at another store. I saw another Fiskars one for $34, so perhaps I can get my hands on that at some point. But yeah, I'm not prepared to make the plunge just yet, so we have to deal with the fact that it just does not cut a lovely crisp line. But I kind of went with the rustic vibes of everything being ripped and layered in this theme anyway, so I'm not too mad about it. So I am changing things up for 2026. You normally would be seeing a readathons page on, or something to do with a readathon on the left hand side, and my quotes page on the right hand side. Well, things have to change because I now have a new journal that is all for readathon. Whether it be yearly readathons or monthly readathons, that is where it's going. It is in a I don't know how to say the name of that company, in a journal, a blackout journal. So that will be showing at some point on the channel, how it's working. It is in my 2026 flip through, which I will link in the description below. But it means that I don't need a readathons page in my journal, and I was trying to rack my brain around it because it was not planned. It was a whim type journal setup. That's why you didn't get to see any footage of it. And I had to go, well, how am I going to work this out? I will have an extra page in my layout and I want to keep to the certain amount of pages per month. So I decided to make a Dutch door. So on the left-hand side, I have renamed quotes because it was confusing some people on social media, on Instagram, why the quotes weren't sometimes that great when they were reading them. and renamed it First Lines. So this page is essentially where I put the first line of every book that I read, whether I DNF it, whether I finish it. So sometimes I do what I call a sampled read, which is not even 10% of the read. So if I've written it down, sometimes I'll do that before I get too far into the book and then realize I'm not going to be finishing it. So anything that I start in January will be going in here. The first line will go down there. And then on this first side of the Dutch door, I am sticking, I believe, my TBR. Yes, so I have a space for 8 different books on my TBR every month, and I honoured that here. I was going to do 10, but then I thought, that's pushing it. So I went ahead and filled in the bottom portion of this page here with some more of those stickers, and then put some dots down to map out where I am going to have my books that I want to put on my TBR. I haven't even thought about my TBR yet, not entirely. So the only book I know on there is going to be Tales of a Deadly Devotion by Jennifer Delaney, because that is our book club read for January and to whatever end. So that is what I've put there. And I ended up putting the book haul section there as well. I don't plan on getting any books. I'm actually on a book ban for January to March, or the middle to end of March, which is really sad. But we bought tickets to go see a K-pop band that I've absolutely loved. They're coming to New Zealand, and so we bought tickets just before Christmas. It means we're going to be living a bit frugally to try and save to go up there. We've already paid for everything. We just now have to pay it off. But yeah, it's very exciting, but that means that we have to be a bit more frugal with our spending. And then also I'm taking part in the 75 booked challenge, which does mean for 75 days you do not buy a book. And considering Agnes Orbert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett is coming out very soon, and I did not pre-order it, that means I have to wait to have a physical copy on my shelf, and I don't know how I'm going to cope with that. Perhaps I could bribe a friend to gift it to me, because that's the only way I could get things, and then I'd pay them back or something at a later on date. I don't know. Maybe I could buy them a book when I can, and that's not me necessarily buying a book for myself. So we'll see. I'll find a way around it somehow. But yeah, I'm not buying books. So hopefully I won't have to have a book haul section that's extremely long. We'll see how we go. I just put it down there because I'm used to putting it down. We are now already on to the other side of the Dutch door, and I have renamed the prompts list what I normally put in my journal, because I normally play a TBR vending machine game every month. I have renamed it to Spin a Wheel, because we are now doing the Spin a Wheel in 2026. The TBR vending machine broke, so I went through a stage of despair trying to figure out what I was going to do. Almost brought the most expensive toy capsule machine, because I really want one. I thought it would be just so much fun. A lot of people do spinner wheels, and I thought, no, I want to do a capsule machine, but they are very pricey. So, or you can get the cardboard ones, and I did buy a cardboard one, and the balls keep getting stuck in it. So, spinner wheel it is, and we have all the prompts ready to go, so I'm very excited to share that with you. That will be in the next video, the setup of that and doing the first round of game. So that'll be fun. But I needed a space for that, and then I still had extra space because I'm only going to use the spinner wheel for 5 prompts, like I did with the TBR vending machine. So I filled the rest of the space with just jotting down what the books will be that I use for my readathons. I feel like I could have added more to that spot. There was something that came to my mind the other day, and I was like, oh, I should have put that down there. I completely forgotten what it was. I should have written it down. The downsides to chronic fatigue is the brain fog that comes along, and it's just, yeah. So I've forgotten what it was, but it was at the point I thought, oh, that'd be really good. So maybe it'll come back to me. But I've put down as much as I can on that spot there. So I am looking forward to seeing if that's helpful, and tracking that there. And then on the right hand side, after filling it in with a whole bunch of stickers, mostly because I had so many left over, I went ahead and made a new section which is called subscriptions. I use Spotify almost every month to listen to an audiobook. I have Audible, so I can track that there as well. That's why I haven't filled in the space completely. And then I also have just recently, because it was a special deal, gotten Kindle Unlimited, and I've used it. So I thought, well, I'll try one more month at the full price and see if I like it. If not, we will cancel it. So that is also down there. So either way, I still have space for Spotify and Audible in the future to see if I use my credits and what it was. And then the other section is library hires. Have I left myself enough room for library hires? Probably not, but we'll see how it goes. So that is this page almost done, or these 2 pages actually, because the Dutch door makes it 2. I'm just going to put those headers on. I am doing quite a few readathons this year. That's why I decided to make a new journal for it, and I had the spare journal. So I'm just going to put down those headers there. There is actually a few that I missed, so I now need to go back through and figure that out at another date, but we'll see how we go. It's just something I wanted to trial. The first month is always about experiments. Here is a look at what that ended up looking like in the end. These clips were filmed in an afternoon, late afternoon, so they are a very different type of lighting. And they're really not picking up that shimmer in those headers whatsoever. We're now on to the last page, which is my reading log, and it has gone through a glow up as well. I have done the same layout for my reading log now for 2.5 years, and I'll be honest with you, I needed to change it because I was getting bored of it. Do I love how it looks at the end of every month? Yes. Have I gotten to a point where I hate filling it in? Yes. So I wanted to change things up, and especially since I was putting the covers on the first page of every month now for every book that I read, I knew that I didn't need to have as big of a cover, if at all. Originally, I was not going to put the book cover on here, but I knew I would miss it. So here is what I came up with instead. I went ahead and kept it to 12 still on a page because the goal is to slow down my reading a little bit, but I don't know how I'm going to go with that, considering I'm taking part in the 75 booked and you read 2 times a day. So I just wanted to set up how I have, like usual, and we'll figure it out as we go throughout the year with having 12 per month. And then if I need to add in an extra page, I can do that as well. So I kept to having 6 per page, and this time around I went with horizontal boxes right across the page. I did toy with the idea of alternating, so having the covers on one side, then the next line it be on the other, but it did not look good at all. I did mock it up and I hated it so much. So we are sticking with just this horizontal layout. The cover for every book will be the first thing on the left-hand side of the horizontal bar. And then the information that I've put in will be going in pretty much the same order as it has been. It's just a little bit of a layout shift, if I'm going to be honest with you. And I have swapped to using stickers for my 5-star for the 5-star ratings. I made these on my Cricut. For me, I really have felt uncomfortable. I know it sounds so silly, but the brand that I got my 5-star stamp from is not a brand that I no longer want to support. And I'm not going to mention names. It is just down to personal choice, and I didn't feel comfortable using it anymore. However, I wanted to finish the year out looking cohesive in 2025, so I continued to use it but stopped crediting it in my videos. And so I made stickers, and I much more prefer the sticker look because I can get the same consistency with a sticker. Sometimes when I was stamping, I would have to go over it with pen because I didn't stamp hard enough. So I appreciate this look. So it's pretty much the same, just using stickers. I'll also be using stickers that I created for if it's an arc that will go next to the star stamp. star sticker. And then at the end of the month, the format sticker will also go in that section there. So I'm looking forward to trialing this out. I think it's going to be really fun. And I'm happy to have a new layout. I'm really, really thrilled about that part. I do think the second bar situation, so pages, dates, format, and genre, will essentially need to move a little bit further along. I don't think I've given myself nearly enough room to write down series, but for now, that is how it's laid out. And I am so grateful that it has worked out, because I was a little bit frustrated trying to figure out how I was going to make this work without it feeling pointless. So yeah, I think it's going to work. I just need to, just trial it for a month and then go from there. So we're basically at the end of this video now. So I just wanted to point out the fact that I did put the excess paper and everything that I was using, like the stickers, everything was sort of like a living organism around me. I do apologize if the shifting papers underneath the journal as I moved it annoyed you. I'm not sure if that was a problem at all. But let me know what you think of the theme for this month and for the whole year. And also if you're excited for the changes like I am. And until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading or journaling. And I will see you in a new video coming very soon. Bye everyone.